Hello preppers, Hardcore 46 here. This video is called Shtf Wrol Signs of the Times, or Don't Shoot First and Ask Questions Later. Armed travelers should not be fired upon automatically while moving on public roadways, or merely for traipsing across your fields or through your forest. When they're on your property, yes, they are technically trespassing. But unless they are engaged in theft, destruction of property, or overtly hostile actions, they should not be automatically classified as a threat. Conversely, if you are the one moving through an area after SHTF, such as bugging out, it may be wise to remain on the public roadways as much as possible. I realize that this may not sound like the tactical thing to do. I'm not talking about escape and evasion, recon, or moving to contact operations. If you are forced to be on the move after SHTF, especially if you are moving as a family unit, you will appear less threatening to homesteaders if you are moving on a public right-of-way. Property owners should take measures to post their land and route refugees in a direction that they want them to go. If possible, there should be a legitimate route to your front door, or ECP, marked by signs. The approaching strangers may actually be friends or family or neutrals that could be an asset to your group. They could have information that you need about the situation in the area they just came from. If you're bugging out on foot and you're walking down a public roadway, you might want to think about the way that you're wielding or orienting your rifle or your long gun as you're moving down the road. Homesteaders should survey the situation when they see a group approaching the retreat. What kind of equipment do they have? What kind of weapons are they carrying? How are they carrying them? Do they move like a military unit? Do they have women and children with them? Are they pushing strollers? You should not assume that if they're pushing strollers or people in wheelchairs, that they are harmless. It could be a ruse, or those people could have been coerced into that, approaching you in that manner, to feel you out, to conduct a reconnaissance, or as a Trojan horse, or as a diversion. A safe means of communicating with the strangers at your front gate should be devised. Anybody approaching from your group to see what the business is of the other party should definitely have lethal cover watching over him. If a group is visiting, then you will want to have them send one member forward as their representative. This representative will be required to identify himself and declare the group's reason for approaching your retreat or stopping at your gate. If your group feels charitable and can spare the supplies, you might consider offering a charity pack to the strangers. Here I am talking primarily about water, but if you should happen to have extra bread or tortillas or something on hand, you could give them a little and send them on their way. I'm talking about a carrot and stick approach for dealing with groups or individuals approaching your retreat. The carrot would be to entice the strangers to move to an area away from your retreat using the lure of food, water, shelter, etc. by employing signs that would be part of a deception campaign to divert the refugees away from you and toward what they perceive to be a better place for them to head for. These signs could indicate a direction to go to get help, such as a Red Cross Relief Center, a FEMA shelter, a National Guard refugee center, or something like that. Another carrot would be to place obstacles that would deter progress toward your community and thus encourage them to move in another direction that diverts them away from your retreat. Some obstacles could be drastic or somewhat permanent, such as destroying a bridge or a culvert. And that would at least stop vehicular traffic but it may also deter those on foot who are not too adventurous. An abatis would stop vehicles for at least as long as it takes the horde to remove it. These obstacles may not be defensive in nature and thus not necessarily be under constant observation. The stick would begin with the more benign signs, maybe with road closed or bridge out, and possibly signs reading hazmat spill or the like. The next level would be the keep out, no trespassing, beware of dog, restricted area type of sign. The final part of the stick would be signs declaring or implying the use of lethal force against intruders, such as this area patrolled by neighborhood defense force. Or if you can read this, you are in range, or there is nothing here worth your life. And warning, no trespassing. The use of deadly force is authorized. Good fences make good neighbors. Fencing your property keeps your critters in and keeps unwanted critters out. A fence is also a line of demarcation between public property, such as a road, and private property. It makes it harder for an intruder to claim ignorance of his trespass. In some states, a fence is all that is needed during rule of law to serve as notice that the property has been improved and therefore is not open to the public or abandoned. Posting your property with signs can be used alone or in conjunction with fences. As your group joins with other groups to form a tribe or community, constructing new fences may not be feasible. Signage may be more practical, especially on legitimate avenues of approach. You will want to provide a designated lane to your interior ECP in case you desire contact with the travelers. For those who are not enticed to go elsewhere by your bait signs, you may want to post more sternly worded warning signs the closer they get to your retreat. These might consist of signs that read hazardous waste, use of deadly force authorized, there is nothing here worth your life, etc. Signs declaring or implying the use of deadly force are inadvisable during rule of law.